If your feet have been cold for longer than you can remember, if your ankles are puffy by evening and you press your thumb into the skin and the dent stays, if your legs feel heavy by mid-afternoon even though you have not done anything strenuous, stop brushing those signals off as getting older, because the reason almost every treatment you have tried has not fixed this is not that your circulation is too far gone. It is that every treatment you have tried has been aimed at the wrong thing. And today that changes. My name is Dr. Natalie Brooks, and in this video I am going to show you exactly what is failing in your circulatory system after 70, why it has nothing to do with your heart, and the one specific daily movement that directly targets the real biological failure. A movement that costs nothing, requires no equipment, and can be performed from your chair in under 3 minutes. Stay with me until the end, because the last thing I am going to share is the part that almost nobody ever talks about, and it may be the most important 2 minutes of this entire video. Before we go any further, leave a comment below right now telling Dr. Natalie Brooks your age, which country you are watching from, and whether you experience cold feet, swollen ankles, or that familiar heavy leg feeling by the end of the day. I reads every comment you leave personally. Now let me tell you about Dorothy. Dorothy was 74 years old, a retired school teacher from Gloucester in England, who had been dealing with swollen ankles and cold feet for nearly 4 years when she first came to my attention. In those 4 years, she had tried compression stockings, 3 different pairs, 2 different compression levels. She had tried herbal circulation supplements. She had tried warm foot baths every evening. She had even paid privately for an ultrasound of her arteries, which came back entirely normal. And yet, every single day, by 3 in the afternoon, Dorothy's ankles were so swollen she had to remove her shoes. Every morning she woke up with feet so cold she wore socks to bed year-round. Her GP had told her it was age. Her pharmacist had suggested she stay hydrated. She had been trying everything she could find for 4 years, and nothing had made a lasting difference. When Dorothy described her situation to me, I asked her one question. I said, "How much time do you spend sitting down each day, and do you do anything specific to move your lower legs while you are seated?" She thought for a moment and said, "Quite a lot, I suppose, and no, not really, I just sit." That answer told me everything, because Dorothy did not have a heart problem. She did not have an arterial problem. What Dorothy had was a failure of the body's most important and most overlooked venous pumping system, a system that almost nobody has ever heard of, that almost no doctor has time to explain in a standard appointment, and that is responsible for the circulation symptoms that millions of adults over 70 experience every single day. Here is what almost nobody tells you about poor circulation after 70. The real problem in the majority of older adults experiencing cold feet, swollen ankles, and heavy legs is not happening in the arteries. Arteries carry fresh, oxygenated blood outward from the heart to the body. For most people over 70, the arteries are doing a reasonable job. The problem is happening in the veins, specifically in the system responsible for returning blood from your feet and lower legs back up to your heart against the full downward pull of gravity. And that system has a name. It is called the calf muscle pump. And after 70, when daily movement decreases, when muscle mass in the lower legs naturally declines, and when the one-way valves inside the veins begin to weaken with age, the calf muscle pump begins to fail. Quietly, without announcing itself, until one day you look down at your ankles at 3 in the afternoon and realize they are the size of tennis balls, and you cannot remember exactly when that started happening. Here is how the calf muscle pump works when it is functioning as it should. Deep inside the lower leg, the gastrocnemius and the soleus, the two large calf muscles, physically surround a dense network of deep veins. Every single time those muscles contract, they squeeze those veins like hands squeezing a tube of toothpaste, propelling 60 to 90 milliliters of blood upward toward the heart with each contraction, according to research from the Vascular Medicine Journal. The ankle joint is the mechanical hinge that activates this entire system. When you pull your foot upward, a motion called dorsiflexion, the front of the lower leg engages and begins the pumping cycle. When you push your foot downward, a motion called plantar flexion, the calf muscles fire and complete it. In normal walking, this cycle repeats hundreds of times per day, creating a continuous, powerful venous return that keeps blood moving efficiently from the feet and legs back to the heart. Think of it like a second heart living in your calves. When that second heart is beating, when you are walking, moving, contracting those calf muscles regularly, your venous return is strong, your ankles stay slim, your feet stay warm, and your legs feel light. But when that second heart goes quiet, when prolonged sitting becomes the dominant position of the day, when the calf muscles weaken, when the ankle stops moving through its full range, blood begins to pool in the deep veins of the lower leg. Pressure builds inside those veins. The valves that are supposed to prevent blood from flowing backward begin to weaken under that sustained pressure. Fluid leaks from the capillaries into the surrounding tissue, and the result is the ankle swelling, the cold feet, the heavy legs, and the nighttime cramping that Dorothy had been living with for 4 years, and that most doctors simply call poor circulation, without ever explaining what is actually causing it. Here is why every treatment Dorothy had tried had not fixed the problem. Compression stockings provide passive external pressure from the outside. They can help manage the symptoms of venous pooling. They can reduce how much swelling accumulates during the day, but they cannot replicate the active, powerful, rhythmic pumping action of a contracting calf muscle. They are managing the symptom, not activating the system. The supplements Dorothy tried, most circulation supplements work through mild vasodilation of the arteries. But Dorothy's arteries were fine. The problem was in her veins, and no supplement has ever been shown to directly activate the calf muscle venous pump. And the warm foot baths provided temporary comfort through surface vasodilation, but again, they did not address the mechanical failure of the pumping system itself. The only thing that directly activates the calf muscle pump and restores venous return is the contraction of the calf muscles themselves. And the movement that does this most effectively, most safely, and most accessibly for adults over 70, including those with pain, balance issues, or limited mobility, is an exercise called the ankle pump. The evidence behind the ankle pump is far more robust than most people realize. A 2025 systematic review and meta-analysis published in the Journal of Orthopaedic Surgery and Research, analyzing data from multiple randomized controlled trials, confirmed that ankle pump exercises significantly improved maximum venous outflow and maximum venous capacity, the two primary measures of how well the venous pump is functioning in the lower leg. The researchers found that participants who performed ankle pump exercises were dramatically less likely to develop dangerous blood clots in the lower extremities than those who did not, with a reduction in deep vein thrombosis incidence that the researchers described as clinically significant and supported by level 1 evidence. This is not soft observational data. This is the highest level of clinical proof. A separate study published in BMC Nursing, conducted by researchers at Nagoya University Graduate School of Medicine, used near-infrared spectroscopy to measure blood oxygenation before and after ankle exercise in elderly participants. What they found surprised even the researchers. Ankle pump exercise elevated blood oxygenation not just in the lower legs, but measurably at the level of the brain. The venous return initiated by ankle movement improved cerebral blood flow in older adults, confirming that the circulatory benefits of this movement extend far beyond the feet and ankles and reach the entire body. In practical terms, for someone over 70, warmer feet, lighter legs, reduced swelling, and clearer thinking from a movement that takes 3 minutes and requires nothing but a chair. If Senior Health Advice is giving you science-backed information that genuinely helps you understand your body better, please like this video right now and subscribe to the channel so you never miss what Dr. Natalie Brooks brings you next. We are about to get to the exact protocol, how to do this, when to do it, and what to expect in the first 30 days. Here is the exact ankle pump protocol based precisely on the clinical evidence. Sit upright in a chair with both feet flat on the floor and your knees bent at a comfortable angle. Begin by pulling both feet upward toward your shins as far as comfortably possible. Hold for 1 full second at the top. Then push both feet downward toward the floor as far as comfortably possible. Hold for 1 full second at the bottom. That is 1 complete cycle. Perform 1 complete cycle every 3 to 4 seconds. Research published in Asian Nursing Research examining optimal frequency protocols for ankle pump exercise confirmed that 1 complete cycle every 3 to 4 seconds is the evidence-based optimal frequency for improving lower limb blood flow, not faster, which reduces the effectiveness of each individual contraction, and not slower, which reduces the cumulative pumping stimulus. Continue for 3 full minutes. At this pace, you will complete approximately 45 to 60 full cycles, which the clinical literature consistently identifies as sufficient to produce a measurable increase in femoral vein blood flow velocity. Perform this sequence 3 times throughout the day. Once in the morning before you stand up, because overnight inactivity is one of the most significant contributors to venous pooling, and reactivating the calf pump before you even put weight on your feet sets the circulatory tone for the entire day. Once in the afternoon, after any period of sitting longer than 45 minutes, because research confirms that venous pooling in the lower extremities accelerates significantly after 45 minutes of uninterrupted sitting in sedentary older adults. And once in the evening, approximately 1 hour before bed, to clear the pooled blood that has accumulated throughout the day, reduce overnight swelling, and improve the morning foot temperature that is one of the most reliable early signs that your circulation is improving. If you would like to enhance the protocol further, Dr. Natalie Brooks recommends adding 10 slow calf raises at the end of each ankle pump sequence beginning in week 2. If seated, simply rise onto the balls of both feet simultaneously, hold for 2 seconds, then lower with control. If you are able to stand safely while holding a counter or chair back, standing calf raises produce a significantly larger venous discharge per contraction. The combination of seated ankle pumps, followed immediately by 10 calf raises, creates a two-phase circulatory stimulus that targets both the deep venous network and the superficial venous return simultaneously, and takes the total daily investment to under 5 minutes per session. Here is what to expect across the first 30 days of consistent practice. In the first 7 to 10 days, most people notice a reduction in the afternoon ankle swelling, the tight, full, heavy feeling that develops after prolonged sitting begins to ease. In days 10 to 20, the cold, tingling sensation in the feet, which is a marker of reduced capillary perfusion, typically begins to diminish, particularly in the mornings after the first daily pump sequence. By day 30, people who have been consistent report that their legs feel noticeably lighter throughout the day, that morning foot temperature feels warmer, and that the indentation test, pressing the thumb firmly into the skin of the lower shin and holding for 5 seconds, no longer leaves a lasting dent. Before we close, I want to tell you what happened with Dorothy. 6 weeks after she began the ankle pump protocol, 3 times daily, 3 minutes each session, she sent a message describing something she had not experienced in 4 years. She wrote, "My ankles were normal when I took my shoes off this evening. Normal. I stood there for a moment and just looked at them." She also noted that her feet had been warmer in the mornings for the past 2 weeks. She had not changed anything else. Same diet, same medications, same daily routine. She had simply reactivated the biological pumping system that 4 years of compression stockings and supplements had been working around but never actually addressing. Dorothy's outcome is not unusual. It is what happens when you stop treating the symptom and start addressing the system. One important note before you begin. If you currently experience ankle swelling that does not improve overnight, open sores or skin changes on the lower legs, severe pain in the calves during walking, or very sudden swelling in one leg only, please speak with your doctor before starting this protocol, as these symptoms may indicate a condition requiring medical evaluation. The ankle pump protocol is appropriate for the vast majority of adults over 70 experiencing everyday circulation symptoms. But Dr. Natalie Brooks wants your approach to be safe and personalized. This is what senior health advice exists to give you. The science that standard appointments run out of time to deliver, explained clearly and built around what your body actually needs. If this video has given you something useful today, please share it with someone over 70 in your life who is dealing with cold feet or swollen ankles. Subscribe to Senior Health Advice so you never miss what comes next, and leave a comment below telling Dr. Natalie Brooks how long you have been experiencing these symptoms and whether you are going to try the protocol today. Your circulation is not finished. It has simply been waiting for the right signal. Give it exactly what it needs and watch what happens.